Welcome to Fire Breathing Kittens. Today is a special adventure as we're joining our new member, Edgar Luminor. Hi, Edgar.
Hello. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you for joining us. Can you describe what you look like for our listeners?
Yes, of course. So, I don't think I'm too much of anything to look at, but I've got short brown hair and a kind of scruffy beard. I've got a very pale, very, very pale skin. People seem to think that I'm sick a lot of the time, but I'm not. I am a changeling, so it does sometimes depend, but most of the time I like to look in one certain way. I've got very piercing green eyes, regardless of my form, and you can generally see me dressed in a snakeskin cloak and kind of more adventurous, loose clothing, because I don't want to limit my mobility, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, you're a new addition to this crayon box. What color would you be, and why?
I kind of think that I'd be a deeper green or a blue, mostly because I think there's a very wretched nature to me, but I can be bright at times, but most of the time very contemplative and very inward. I can be personable, but unlike the brighter colours, I tend to keep to myself a little more, I think.
Yeah. Introspection is a blessing, if only we all shared it.
I agree.
Question 2 is, Edgar, what are your strengths?
I think I can be very convincing when I need to be, if that makes sense. I know it has sometimes been called a weakness by others who see it as a sort of moral failing, but I think I'm quite good at threatening when I need to. Sometimes I need to press something out of someone, and I'm very good at that. So I'd say getting what I want. Quite good at that.
That's handy. On the flip side of that coin, question 3 is, what are your weaknesses, Edgar?
Certainly my people skills. I can make conversation, but I don't know that I'm very good at making or caring for my friends all the time. I think it's because I have a very strong passion for what I believe in, and when it doesn't really meet with someone else, I can sometimes have a hard time validating their opinion, and so because of that, I think I don't always get along with people. I try my best, but I can be quick to anger and quick to throw the first fist.
And yet you're very aware of that, which I feel like not a lot of people with those traits are. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good combination. Like, you can choose when, you know.
I appreciate that. I think that's probably because we're in this very formal setting right now and not in the street, if that makes sense.
Right. 3 beers in, we'll see if you maintain this same level of interest.
Oh, yes, exactly. I'm sober right now. Yes.
Well, question 4 is, Edgar, where did you grow up?
Yes, I don't like to talk about that all that much, but I was born in Forvath, Anamara. It's a charming little town that I don't care to say too much about, other than it had the misfortune of being taken over by some of my enemies. But it's a good people. There's good people there, good businesses. I would like to return there someday, but as for now, I need to be stronger first. I'm not quite ready for that.
It's good to have goals. Well, question 5 is, why did you want to join the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild, Edgar?
I think it kind of ties into my strength and my weakness from earlier, actually, because it will guide me to what I want for certain, but also because of the community. I need to make more friends, and I definitely need to be better at keeping them. And so I kind of think that joining a more formal kind of union or guild was kind of a good way of making myself hold accountable to that goal.
Yeah. When you bond on an adventure with people, it's easy to consider them your colleagues and friends. You only have to save your life Scar style with Mufasa a few times before you trust him.
Yes, nothing like trauma bonding over a goblin that tried to kill you both.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's one way to make and keep friends. Not the
Very
goblin.
certain. Well, not the goblin. I have met a good goblin every once in a while, though. There's some good goblins.
There are. Yeah. Question 6 out of 15 is, Edgar, if you were given a 1-minute advertisement time spot during the annual Nicomoy fighting tournament, sort of a Super Bowl, a sporting event that the entire city will see, what would you fill that minute with?
Oh my, I don't have many things to advertise myself, so I don't really try to sell stuff or really involve myself in commerce much of any of the time, but I do kind of like the idea of having just a time to advertise for something else that's good, maybe raise awareness for something. And on the note of that, there is a bakery that I quite enjoy that makes a good biscuit and coffee that I like to go to many mornings, and I think they deserve a little more business, so I might just give it to them.
Ah, that's nice. Would you tell them who did it, or would you just show up the next day and be like happy as they had business?
I don't like to be too public, so I kind of think that I'd go up to them and just kind of casually drop in conversation at some point if I could manage it. Some kind of little thing, kind of a stinger, if you will, to figure out what they would advertise themselves if they had the slot. Just see what they want more people to know about them, what they stand for, and then maybe just copy their menu and just kind of make that publicly known. So they've got good stuff. Yes, thank you.
Question 7 is, Edgar, what do you like doing in your spare time?
There's nothing like watching the birds. It's very peaceful. I like the water. I like the leaves. I like the feeling of the wind calmly caressing your side and your cheeks and rustling up your hair. I think nature is my ultimate escape most of the time, because unlike so much of the man-made and human and goblin and everything else world, there's just a sort of serenity to it that it's difficult to find elsewhere.
Well, that's beautiful. Wow.
Thank you.
Question 8 is, Edgar, what things in life are still a mystery to you?
Many things. For one, I don't understand why people drink tea instead of coffee, I must admit. I don't think it's for me, which surprises many people because of my enjoyment of nature. I don't understand why things that shimmer are so attractive to people. Gold, glimmering things, coins. Money is so temporary after all. I've always wanted knowledge, but seems that so much of the world is flying so fast trying to get the next coin and the next meal, which I understand, but at the same time I'd rather be out in the world hunting for it myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Thank you.
Oh, and you've passed halfway.
Oh, wonderful.
Question 9 is, Edgar, what's your annoying habit?
I've been told I kind of trail off my sentences and speak a little quietly before. I think it might be that. My laugh is quite loud. I have a chesty laugh, but at the same time, if I'm not paying active attention to how I talk, I can kind of be muttery, and that's not always the best for people to understand. Okay.
Well, that seems like an easy to fix problem. Sometimes people say things like, well, you'd be surprised. But question 10 is, Edgar, what is the kindest act you have ever done?
I don't really know what I've done that would be like that, but probably given that ad to the bakery down on Clark Street, that would be pretty nice. I think that would be lovely of me. Stuff I've actually done, though. There was a grandmother who was looking for her son one time, and I helped her track him down. He had been kidnapped by some goblins. That's why I talk about goblins so much. I've had a few nasty run-ins. And she didn't want to pay the ransom, and then they kind of encourage people to kidnap more people, if that makes sense. But obviously wanted him back, and so I went on a bit of a quest, and for no reward or anything, I don't really like to do things for money. I went out and I found him, tracked him down, went across quite a long stretch of mountains and finally found them hiding in a forest on the other side and set him free. Tried not to hurt too many on the way out, but let's just say the goblins that did die had it coming.
Oh my. That kind act of group murder when they had it coming.
You see, when people are doing so much bad, eventually it has to come to that. I don't know. It just feels right.
I'm sure he would agree, and the grandma too.
They did seem pretty happy to see each other again.
Yeah, it's all about perspective. Yeah. Question 11 is, Edgar, where would you like to visit?
Oh, would I like to visit? I've never seen a volcano before. I've seen a lot of leafy places. I've seen very foresty places, some mountains. I've seen an ocean or two. But I've never seen a volcano. I've always heard about them. But I wonder what it's like when the earth is kind of shouting on itself and exploding. I don't know. I think it sounds fun.
Future Game Masters, you heard that. Edgar wants to go to a volcano.
I do. I'd also like to see a dragon. I've never seen a dragon before.
Well, we'll see if a future GM can make that happen. All right, question 12. We're entering silly question territory now. Do you like pickles?
Only the one kind. I like the sweet gherkins, but not very much the sour ones. I have a sweet tooth, as you might have picked up on from my enjoyment of the Clark Street Bakery.
Maybe if they find out, they'll put sweet pickles in something they make.
Oh, you see, they do. They have a lovely a chicken salad sandwich that's got these very sweet pickles on it. And it comes with a side of sweet bread. It's like that with my coffee, too. I don't drink my coffee unless it tastes like a unicorn.
That is an adorable way to describe it.
Oh, thank you.
So one person's like, I like my coffee black. And you're like, I like my coffee unicorn.
It's very true. I want it to be very... very pale and milky, and then it's got to taste like rainbows and sparkles.
I can imagine it perfectly.
Yes.
Question 13 is, a penguin walks through that door right now wearing a sombrero. What does it say, and why is it here?
Well, first of all, what's a penguin? I don't think I've ever heard of one of those. But I imagine if some creature came in with a sombrero, was it... such a thing as a type of hat. I could imagine that it's looking for someone or something, right? You don't walk into a room for no reason. So maybe he wants a drink. Maybe he wants some food. I don't know. But whatever he's looking for, unless it bothers me, I'll just let him be. He can do what he wants.
All right. Second to last question is, Edgar, what would you like remembered about you?
I don't know that I, as an individual, would really like to have much remembered about me specifically, but if there was a legacy of some kind left behind by me, I'd like it to be of the good I had done others through the slaying of those that did not deserve to continue living.
Grandma approved.
Grandma approved, yes.
And lastly, Edgar, what is one message you would give to your fans?
Well, first of all, I don't know why I would have fans, but second of all, if you are listening, I guess, thank you for listening, and I hope I can make it worth your while.
Well, thank you for joining us, Edgar.
Thank you for having me. It was very lovely.
And we'll see you in an upcoming adventure. Goodbye.
Goodbye.